lovely friends.
Oh, Molly.
And Nicole. And
Oh, this is Mina.
so excited to share, to have you guys on this channel today because we're going to talk about how to get more fit and just how little baby steps can help you from being a couch potato to one day becoming a marathoner.
Yeah.
Ching ching, cha-ching, ding 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 ding, ding ding ding.
I got my bachelor's in health education, and just like reading all of the research studies that just kind of showed how exercise was such a big factor in, you know, preventing disease and stuff like that. Let's just started with like, hey, let's just run a few laps. And then when my kids got older, I just felt like, you know, I could do a marathon. Like I should try to do that. And then it was a lot of fun. I was like, I'm going to run a marathon. And I found other friends. I'm like, you want to run a marathon? They're like, sure. And I don't think we knew what we were getting into, but, but it was a lot of fun. In fact, the first time I talked to Nicole about running, I'm like, yeah, well, we could run a marathon. And she's like, yeah, I want to do that. And I'm like, well, let's start with a half, you know?
Baby steps.
So that's actually our goal right now is we're just running a half this June.
And I got started because my wonderful friend Molly would tell me about running all the time, and I wanted to get in shape. I wanted to change things about myself that, you know, getting healthy, and I was like, well, let's try running. I didn't think that I would like running because I've never really liked running in the past, but she's like, let's just start small. We started at a mile, and that was hard, but I did it. And then we built up to 2 miles, which was even harder, and then we did it, and then it got
We ran
to the
2
point-
miles for like how long?
For like a couple months, like 3 months maybe?
Yeah, it was
3
a while.
months we were running.
So it's not
For 2
like it
months.
was just even like boom, boom, boom.
No,
Like,
it took a while. And as I'm going through this process, I was starting to work on eating and starting to work on, you know, other health aspects too. And then finally it just came to this one day that I wasn't dreading going running that day. It was just like, I'm excited to go running today.
Mhm.
Whereas every other day was kind of like I had to make myself do it. It would be like, oh, it's time to run. Maybe I could get out of it some way. And Molly was always there. And she was like,
running. It's raining. Woo!
do you actually have a reason to not go? And I'm like, no, but we're doing it.
Yeah.
So accountability partner was awesome. Then came to that day where it was like, wow, I really want to run today. Like, it's going to release stress for me right now. I had a stressful day. I just want to get out there, feel the wind on me.
Most of the time we want to do it.
Mhm.
It's like, oh no, this is coming up. We really want to run. Like you really start missing it.
Mhm.
But I feel like it takes at least a month. That's what I tell people. Like for a month, it's gonna be like, I need to do this. It's just like a diet or anything else. It's like you kind of have to make yourself
Yeah.
to start. And then once you start feeling better and you start loving it and you start being like, wow, I feel good today. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm looking better and I'm feeling better and like, and I enjoy running and I enjoy how I feel after I'm running, then suddenly like you want to do it like all the time.
That is a key point too, because when it was like, oh, I'm dreading going today, but then you go.
Yeah.
And then when you're done, you're like, that felt really good. Like, it always ends with, wow, I'm really glad I did that.
Yeah.
It feels really good that I did that. And so that helps you with the next time, too.
So how many miles did you run today?
Today I ran 10 miles.
She ran 10 miles today. I did too.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. You can train for a half marathon easily in like 6 months or so or less. I know a lot of people do it in less time, but for us, it's like, this is like lifestyle, you know what I mean? And like, let's do it slow. All right, so now we want to pull in Ellen. Who thinks that I need to get Ellen running with me, right? Nicole, don't you think she should run with? How many miles have you run?
Well, I ran before, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, walk, run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know running is great, but I really like meeting you guys. Hearing your story really has pumped me to get back on it.
Okay.
Even though I prefer indoors on an elliptical, maybe. You know.
Okay, so there's going to be a to be continued, and we're going to hear about Ellen's run with us. So
Yes.
keep watching.
Yeah, well, I could be the water girl. Like,
Put in your comments, Ellen run.
go Ellen, go.
Go Ellen, go. Woo!
Yes.
Yes.
So, but going back to you, what did you do previously before running?
Before running, I did a lot of elliptical.
Oh.
maybe 20 minutes,
Uh-huh.
25 minutes.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
At the gym.
It's too easy to jump off.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Or
true.
slow down. I really enjoy running outside
Mhm.
as opposed to doing treadmill. But you know what? On the days when it's pouring down rain, I would totally do a treadmill. So with Molly,
We did
it's
7
like
miles.
she encourages me throughout the whole thing, you know, and we just keep going. And I feel like I need to keep up with Molly, so I need to just
Right.
keep going. So if Molly wasn't there, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it. But I was just like, just go the 3 miles, and I'm running away from my house, so it's like if you run 3.5 miles away, you're gonna have to come back. So all in my head, I was just like, I can do 3.5 miles. I can do 3.5 miles until I got there, and then I was able to turn around and run back. Really,
That's one of the great things that you can't do that on an elliptical.
So true.
You're like, I'm done.
yeah. You're like, I did
So-
half a mile and that is it. But
Yeah,
if you're running
good for me.
outside,
Yeah.
it's really helpful
Yeah.
to just keep like, okay, I'm gonna run a mile away, and then even if you walk the mile back the first couple times, then at least you're walking.
I've had some days after work and it's just like it's the hardest day and you're just like, I'm tired and you just don't want to do anything. But I think also just being outdoors, being in the fresh air, laughing about stuff. You have to find, we go into stories. It's like, so how was your weekend? Like, seriously, step me through breakfast, step me through everything you did, because you know you need a long time when you're running further and further.
When we first started, it was a lot of like running for like, you know, like a minute, and then we would
Yeah.
have to walk, and then I would be able to run again, and then out of breath, so then you walk for a little while. And even though we were only going a mile or 2 miles, there was a lot of, you know, intermittent walking in between to be able to make it up to that 2 miles. And then
Right.
finally, every time you do it again and again, you're able to run longer and longer and longer.
And you know, there's been so many people that have told me, oh, but I'm not a runner, I couldn't run. And I'm like, yes, you can. Can you run to that tree? If you can run to that tree, then you can run. And then you can run to the tree. And it's like, okay, let's run to the next tree next time.
One tree at a time.
One
One
tree,
tree
at
at
a
a
time.
time.
So I'm going
Yes.
to take Ellen on a run to a tree. And we'll let you know how it goes.
Rain, snow, or shine.
Right. You know, when it first started, because we started in June and it wasn't raining very much. And I remember in the fall, it was like, Nicole's like, so what are we going to do when it starts raining all the time? What are we going to do when the sun starts setting early? What are we going to do? And it's like, we'll just, you know, we'll just still do it. We'll just,
No excuse.
yeah. Like, if it gets kind of dark, we'll just stay on the main road.
Be safe.
Yeah, we be safe. Yeah, that's good.
And then we started really watching our weather to see what time would be
Yeah.
good. So like typically we'd run at 3, but today it stops raining at 4, then we would move our time to 4 so that we kind of get around it. But sometimes we run in the rain, and it's just,
Yeah.
I like to wear a hat because when you wear a hat, then the water's not like getting right in your face. It's just makes it a lot nicer if you end up having to run in the rain.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
no excuses. And you
No
wear glasses.
excuses. And I wear
Yeah,
glasses.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. Running is the best, Nicole, right?
It's so good.
It's
I
so
love
fun.
running.
I love it too.
So tell me about your journey and how exercise has been proven beneficial to you.
Well, I've lost 35 pounds since I've started running.
Woo, woo!
Yes, it's amazing. And it didn't come off right at first, but it just steadily, every week I was losing, and it just feels so good. My outlook, I just feel all over like happier and more
Runner's
of a
high is the
positive,
thing.
yes, more of a positive outlook. And you know, when I started, I was a smoker, so I smoked, you know, a pack of cigarettes every 2 days, and it was really hard for me to run, and I would have to stop, and I was coughing a lot, and I would have to stop and breathe. It was hard for me to breathe, but as I kept running, I kept feeling like I just need to quit this. I need to get this out of my life so that I can, you know, do better here. I mean, I already wanted to quit, but this really helped me take that step of like, I'm trying to be healthy, and it's keeping me from making any growth in my running and in my health journey. So I stopped, and it was like so great because quitting, just I could feel my lungs healing.
Wow.
And I would be able to go further. I did pretty good just cold turkey quitting. It wasn't until like a couple months ago I struggled with, I was around people that were using vapes, and they smelled fruity, and so I kind of started using one for a couple weeks, and I noticed it in my running, just the breathing immediately. Like,
Wow.
it was harder for me to breathe, and I was just like, I don't like this. While it was sweet and yummy tasting, and I liked the feeling that it gave me, like when I was smoked, I was just like, this isn't good for my running, and I need to quit. So I stopped doing that.
When you're
Exercising,
regularly
yeah.
exercising, you can really tell.
Notice it right away,
Mhm.
because I couldn't notice it in my everyday life that I was just walking around, but when I would run, I noticed it in my lungs,
Yeah.
and just off a short time of using it.
We were surprised actually at how quick she was able to like suddenly run further, because we ran 2 miles for a long time. And when she quit, after it was like within 2 weeks, it was like, wow, I can go 3 miles, I can go
Yeah.
4 miles, and then suddenly we were like building up a lot faster.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had
Yeah,
to.
the effects of that.
Yeah, you didn't have to slow down for her at all.
Yeah. And I always told her, I said, once you start running further, running gets really fun when you run shorter miles. So now if we just run 3, 4, 5 miles, it's like it's super fun
Yeah.
because
And you know,
it's not even
before
work.
running, with quitting smoking, I tried to quit so many times. I've smoked for probably 15 years, and trying to quit all the time, and I would get like, 6 months quit, and then I'd be around it and I'd want it again.
Mhm.
And every single time I'd start smoking again. Well, when I started exercising like this, it was like I needed my lung capacity. I needed to be
Yeah.
healthy. And so it really helped me to never turn back to it, because just like when I started with the vape, it immediately affected my health and my exercise, and I
Mhm.
really enjoy this part of my life now, and so I don't
Yeah.
want to give it to that. I don't
No.
want to give into that anymore. So it really helped me ultimately quit forever, quit smoking,
Did you know that your brain creates more neurons and synapses when you run? It just creates more.
Mhm.
That's what they say. Runners have better memory retention. Yeah, it's something I need to do. I need to run for my memory.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
We're getting more intelligent.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
we
you
run.
are. Yeah, your vocabulary is enhanced.
I don't know. Do you feel smarter?
You don't feel.
Yeah.
You are. You are.
I am smart too.
It's just been such a positive thing. I've lost weight. I feel good. I feel happier. In my relationship with my husband, it's just more positive. I feel better about myself, so
Mhm.
I say more positive things. I'm not in a negative headspace a lot like I used to be. All around, it's been amazing. So before when I didn't feel good about myself, it kept me in a negative place. And so sometimes a lot of the things that were coming out of my mouth was negative talk and negative self-talk, negative thinking about things that he was doing that was negative all the time. But as I started working on myself and feeling better about myself, I started noticing more positive things he was doing. He started responding to me with positivity, that I was getting up and doing something good for myself. He would see that. He would say nice things. It just brought a lot more positivity to me.
Have your kids noticed a difference?
Yes, they do. And it's also helped me get them more active and like taking more walks and getting out and riding bikes. And so I think it's done really well for my entire family.
We pray with each other a lot. We thank God when the weather is good, because it's not always great. But he always seems to keep the rain from pouring.
Every time we go up a mile or like do a bigger run, I'm so overwhelmed and grateful to God, because I know that he brought Molly in my life. He brought this running in my life that has just done so many things. And so I just get overwhelmed with thankfulness to him, that he's put it in me to want this, but he's also put it in me to be able to do this. Like, I'm like, you helped me do this. Like, I know it was him.
He's
and
with
so,
us.
yes. We just did a 15K.
What?
Yes.
9
Even
miles.
more?
Yeah. And it
The
was
hot
amazing.
chocolate run.
The hot chocolate run.
Run for chocolate.
And that
I actually
day,
don't eat that much chocolate.
it
but-
was very windy
But it was
and
fun.
raining, remember?
Yes.
Like, bad. So
It
like
was
we were
bad.
getting kind of whipped in the face with some rain, but we did it.
We did it.
Persevered.
We actually forgot to turn around at 4.5, and we ended up running to 5. And it was like, oh, we're actually going to run 10 miles, not 9.
So tell me more about how you lost that 35 pounds, because that seems insurmountable for a lot of people.
Yeah. So with the running, of course, I was doing the running, but I also started intermittent fasting. So not eating my breakfast until 10 o'clock and then not eating anything past 6 o'clock at night. So just really kind of tightening up the hours that I eat. And
Reducing your sugar.
Reducing my sugar.
Yeah.
I did that. At times reducing my calories, just really trying to be more healthy in the choices that I was making. So, you know, bringing a nice portion size for my lunch, and then if I was still hungry, maybe do like some carrots with hummus or something like that instead of a big, you know, meal like I was eating before to get that fullness. I'll do a smaller, like something yummy, and then like a nice healthy snack. At my old work job, there was always sweets in the break room, so it would
That's
be
my current job, and there's still always sweets in the break room. It's a big
so
problem.
like muffins, cookies, all
Yes,
the
donuts,
things. So
all
I
the time.
started really staying away from the break room and being intentional about not going to places that I knew that food was going to be, so that it would help me. And then I got strong enough to say, okay, I can say no to these things, because I started feeling good once I started losing weight. So it was like, okay, even if that cookie is sitting there, I don't have to eat it because I feel good.
And she's been mostly actually maintaining for the last few months rather than losing, now that we're going on a further. But even though she's maintaining, you can tell it's being replaced with muscle. Like, she's still losing the inches, right?
Yeah, even
Just
though my weight's
today,
not changing.
what were you telling me about your shirt today?
That it's so crazy. Like, my shirt, this used to be a really, really tight shirt on me, and now it's just super loose, and it used to like hug everywhere, and so it's
That's a
surreal
baggy shirt.
sometimes. Like, wow, I'm fitting in all these clothes way different than I used to, because sometimes I don't notice it for myself. So, you know, things in life are happening all the time. Like, I was buying a house through this process, and that's kind of a tedious thing, and no matter what, like, I just stuck with it. Like, don't give up, and don't let other things that are happening in your life stop you from doing it.
She had to get out of the house, and she had to clean up the house, and they moved one day, and then it was like, I gotta clean the next. She still came over on that Sunday, and we still ran.
Yeah, the day I had to be out of my old house.
She still came and ran, and then went back, and then like finished cleaning up. Yeah.
Okay, can we give just like
Yes, I know.
So we know how great exercise is. In fact, there's so much research, numerous studies on why exercise is beneficial. And just to take a quote from the American College of Sports Medicine, studies have found that by doing 150 minutes a week, which is about 30 minutes for 5 days, of physical activity for adults can prevent and treat heart disease, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. And these are the leading causes of death. Heart disease, number one.
That's right.
Doctors now are understanding that this should be a standard in their healthcare.
Yes.
And you guys are a true testament as to why it's healthy. I mean, look at you. Your doctor's going to be amazed.
My doctor always is amazed.
Okay.
They're like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I run. I'm vegetarian. You know? I love Jesus.
That's true. You spend time with family and friends.
That's right.
That's right. So we know exercise physically, it's great. A lot of studies have also shown that it helps improve or reduce symptoms for depression, personality disorders, stress-related symptoms, anxiety.
So true.
So true. I mean, and I've seen it in my own experience that, you know, staying more positive and not getting into those more depressive thoughts of, you know, it's been really helpful for me.
Look at that, you guys. This exercise is a prescription for health. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. You guys inspire me, and I'll get to running to that next tree and then the tree after. Yeah.
To be continued.
Yeah.